Hi guys, after watching the pre-release of Heart Pairing episode 12, two things are clear. It is more obvious where Jaehyun's heart truly lies. It's so obvious that we don't even have to mention names, hahaha. Also, almost all my speculations from the last video were spot on. But before we dive into that, let's quickly recap everything shown in this pre-release. During a conversation between Jiwon and Jimin, Jimin brings up the idea of a truth game. He says that if they played one, there's a specific question he'd want to ask Jiwon. Would you be willing to start dating the person you currently like, starting January 1st? We didn't get to hear her answer though, because their chat quickly turned into playful sibling-like banter. Meanwhile, in a separate conversation, Woo-jae encourages Hanul to reflect on her feelings and talk to Jimin. Hanul admits she hasn't been able to express herself properly and realizes that 3 weeks have passed without much progress on her part. Eventually, she decides she wants to talk to Jimin. After her date with Woo-jae, when she returns to the pairing house, she approaches Jaehyun and shares her intention to talk to Jimin. Jaehyun, who already knows how Hanul feels, sees that she's finally taking action. I honestly can't wait to see how this affects the Jimin-Jaehyun dynamic. Chae-eun, during her ride with Chon-hyong, says she feels she's expressed all her feelings clearly. Chon-hyong's response seems positive, giving her a sense of comfort and stability. If there's one relationship I'm truly seeing getting to marriage, it's this one between Chon-hyong and Chae-eun. I'm so happy they found each other. This also means that even though Suwa was sent a message and given the chance to date two people and chose Chon-hyong, it clearly won't go anywhere, since now, he seems to have already reassured Chae-eun. Her second date will be with Jimin. As for Chong-huan, he openly expressed his desire to be chosen by Suwa and made his feelings clear. But he later finds out that Suwa is going on a date with Chon-hyong. Will this shift Chong-huan's feelings? Because we know that after this, the postcard dates will happen, and Chong-huan will meet with Jiwon, which could potentially change the love line between him and Suwa. If Jiwon gives him even the slightest hope that something might still be possible between them, though honestly, I doubt it, could Chong-huan shift his focus back to her? In another pre-release clip, after reading Jiwon's postcard, Chong-huan admits, I think a lot of incredible thoughts were swirling around in my head. Jiwon, while meeting Chong-huan for the first time after their age gap fallout, speaks with some difficulty, saying, I think I was looking forward to talking to you. Some Ji-won fans are still hopeful that these two will choose each other in the end, especially since, for the first time, they're finally being forced by the situation to face each other and talk through all their unspoken misunderstandings. What are your thoughts about this? Do you think this couple still have hope to turn things around, or do you think Woo-jae and Jiwon's relationship is too strong to be shifted? How about Chong-huan? Will he follow his heart and choose Jiwon again because of Sua's lack of connection? Moving on to the Jimin, Jaehyun, and SangYoon triangle. There is one thing the pre-release has made clear. Jaehyun's discussion and assurance to SangYoon were just empty words. She was simply going along with his flow to make him happy. She clearly didn't mean some of the things she said, judging by her attitude in those clips, which I already speculated about in my last video. For many fans, this must have been a relief. But guess who also felt it, that she wasn't sincere with him? Yep, SangYoon. In the video, we're brought back to the lounge scene, where SangYoon noticed the subtle glances between Jimin and Jaehyun. In his confessional, he admits he didn't know what happened in the first 2 weeks, but it started to feel like Jaehyun and Jimin were already dating. When Jaehyun chose him as her partner for the final contract relationship, he was genuinely happy. He saw it as a chance to connect with her on a deeper level. Their ice rink date made him feel like they were a real couple, especially when they held hands and took selfies. That meant a lot to him. It made him feel deeper emotions towards her. However, on the second night, after their romantic glamping date and that incredibly, so-called imaginary heart-fluttering chemistry-filled car moment, hahaha, Jaehyun got home and started hovering around Jimin, asking if his throat was okay. Meanwhile, Jimin was purposely keeping his distance to follow the rules of the contract relationship. When SangYoon saw this, he was visibly shaken. It affected him, and doubts started creeping in. So on the final day of their contract relationship, he asked Jiwon if she had ever considered dating him in real life. She smiled shyly and said yes. At first, this made him happy, but then, he noticed the difference in how Jiwon responded to Jimin and how she responds to him. Her energy with Jimin, the way she laughed and connected, it was totally different. That realization hit him hard, and it made him freeze when Jiwon later asked him that important question about his feelings during their date. Instead of taking that moment to equally give Jiwon some sweet words so she can have a reason to keep considering him, he made it easier for her to pull away and choose Jimin. My one takeaway from this pre-release is something I've said before and will say again. Jiwon seems like someone who's too considerate of others, almost to the point of being a people pleaser. If she continues like this in real life, it might cause her a lot of trouble. There are ways to answer questions honestly without betraying yourself or your own direction. We clearly saw her loving gaze fixed on Jimin while they were all together. There was the scene where Jimin gave her his shirt and sprayed his perfume to locate her heart, ha ha ha. We also see her gaze when they were taking pictures in the back porch with Jimin, Chong-huan, Ji-wan, and SangYoon. So, it seems we are about to see more Jimin and Jiwon chemistry in this coming episode. And oh, the chaos isn't over yet. Even though it's becoming more obvious that Jimin and Jiwon will be the endgame couple, there are still a few clues in the pre-release suggesting things might shift which might impact the current love lines in the house. First is the connections among Jimin, Jiwon, and SangYoon and how it will change. Then, there's the Jiwon, Woo-jae, and Chong-huan connection. What will Chong-huan do after reading Jiwon's letter? Will he switch back to her, even though he's been cheering them on, almost literally shipping her with Woo-jae, if I may add lol. Then how about Soo-ah and Hanul making moves on Jimin? How will Jiwon respond to Hanul's boldness? Will she start taking action too, or just sit back and watch her man go on dates with other women and possibly fall for them, ha 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 ha. The thought of Jimin falling for someone else has totally become a joke at this point. Will Jiwon follow through on her candlelight dinner date with SangYoon at the house, or will she reject him altogether? Will production continue to force a love triangle that doesn't exist on us, or just calmly drop the storylines as they are? The stage is definitely set for some major developments in the remaining episodes. So, what are your expectations for episode 12? Share them in the comments. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and like the video.